Yeah, hello. It's another Monday morning, another edition of Monday Morning PP. We'll look at Psalm 3. Our help is in God. Let's enjoy the hymn. Till thou appear, thy members ye shall sing like those in glory. With little hearts and voices, with pleasant anticipation, and cry aloud and give to God the praise of our salvation. Then we still acknowledge the best our bones in sunder, and loudly sing our conquering King in songs of joy and wonder. In every day's deliverance, our Jesus we discover. 'Tis he that smote the sea and led us safely there. While in affliction's furnace and passing through the fire, thy love we praise, which knows our days and ever brings us mighty. With clap answers only in thine almighty favor, the Lord divine which made us thine shall keep us thine forever. The last stanza. By faith we see the glory to win that shall restore us. The cross is Christ for that high price with our soul before us. When they that count us worthy, we just die his feet. Shall sing stand at God's right hand to take us up to heaven. Yeah, that is a famous hymn by Reverend Charles Wesley, head of thy church triumphant. God is the head of his church. Yes, he puts human beings in charge. That's why when he appeared in Revelation, he said, to the angel of the church of this, to the angel of the church of that. Those are the people, the set men he has put there. And those people are guided by a spirit, and that is the spirit, an angel. And that is what he wrote the letters to. So he was referring to the messengers there. So God is the head of his church, but he appoints people for other places as well, in accordance with his own will and counsel. This morning we want to look at Psalm 3. Our help is in God. Our help is in God. David had come to the point where people were even telling him that even God cannot help him, and that God will not help him. He said God cannot help him, and that God will not help him. The point they were making was that even if God wanted to help him, God cannot help him, and that God cannot help him because God doesn't want to help him. Why? What was the context of this? This was the time when Absalom had rebelled against him and taken the kingdom, and Solomon had to flee into the wilderness, into exile for a while. And the people were saying, they were cursing David. They were saying that yes, David, he took the throne of his master Saul via wickedness and treachery, which is not true. David, when he was anointed, it took him almost 2 decades before he sat on the throne, because Saul was on the throne. He got opportunity to kill Saul several times, but he said he's not going to do that. He told God that if God is the one who has anointed me to be king, surely he knows how to remove the person there and put me there. I am not going to touch the person. So even though Saul was pursuing him to kill him, when he got opportunity to kill Saul, he didn't kill him. If it is this generation, a lot of them will say that, oh, you are not smart, kill the person, kill the person, kill the person. The person wants you dead, kill the person. But David understood that you reap what you sow. That those who live by the sword die by the sword. You think that you are fooling with someone's husband in the name of I was at my somewhere. It was a man who said he loved me, so you know that the man has a wife, and you are flirting with him. When they say, you say, well, as for you were somewhere before the man came. You think you are happy doing it. If you don't pray and repent and truly repent, and God forgives you, you may say you have become a Christian, you have changed, you are married. By the time you realize your husband also be doing the same thing, so that you'll be put in that position, because Galatians 6:7 say you reap what you sow. You will reap what you sow. So, but David was not in this position because David didn't kill Saul. In fact, Saul's son was his best friend, Jonathan. So he was never going to do that. He got opportunity to kill him several times. He didn't do it. And so he wandered in the wilderness for years. So, but people felt that, especially the people from the tribe of Benjamin, from where Saul came from, they felt that Saul was their master. So if David has taken over the kingdom from Judah, it means that he had done something fishy to Saul, which was not true. So when his son Absalom rebelled and took the kingdom, and David went into exile, people were saying that, oh, God cannot help him. His own right-hand man, Ahithophel, turned against him. You get my point? So he penned this psalm when he was fleeing from Absalom to cross the river quickly before the following day, because Absalom has been advised to send people to pursue him and to kill him. So, but he was so tired, so he had to sleep on this side of the river, and he prayed this prayer. That's my theme for this morning. Now, my major emphasis is that he said his help was in God, because the people were saying that even God, there is no help for him in God. When you get to a level where people think that you are finished, even God will not help you. You know why people say that? Because they think that maybe what you are going through is a punishment, God is punishing you. Or this thing they think you've not attained yet is because you've been doing something evil and God is punishing you. You get my point? Yeah. So they think that, okay, if it is God who is punishing you and no human being is also minding you, then that God who is punishing you will not help you. How can you be punishing someone and help the same person in that punishment? That means that why do you punish the person? So that's how they thought. You get my point? But God was still with David, and David found help in God later on. We all know what happened. The rebellion failed. After a while, Ahithophel went to hang himself, being the one who counseled Absalom to, because God caused Absalom to reject his counsel, which if Absalom had followed, they would have killed David. Because this was at the time when David was on the other side. He had not crossed the river to the other side. He was tired when they were fleeing. So Ahithophel had said that, look, I know your father David. I have been with him for a long time. If you allow him to cross over to the other side and go and arm and prepare himself, you will get trouble. So since you have rebelled, you've taken the kingdom and I'm your advisor, send men right now to go now, because he has not crossed the river. They are tired, they are escaping, to kill him this night, so that he doesn't cross over at all. Then you have the kingdom fully. But Absalom fell to God. Sent another advisor called Hushai to go and say that, oh, don't listen to Ahithophel. As for this one, Ahithophel is strong. And then Absalom said, okay, fine. And then he waited. And by the time he waited, the following day, David crossed over to the other side. And then there was warfare, and David and his men were able to come back. His loyal men were able to come back. So that is the psalm. That is the basis of the psalm. I read for you Psalm 3. It said, Lord, this is Psalm 3. It says, the psalm of David when he fled from Absalom his son. Lord, how they have increased who trouble me. Many are they who rise up against me. Suppose his own son are rising against him. Many are they who say of me, there is no help for him in God. And this is my emphasis for this morning. The people said that there is no help for him in God. They are saying that God cannot help. Even God cannot help him. This thing here is finished. This sickness there is going to destroy him. This situation there is never going to come out of it. This thing is never going to overcome it. And Psalmist says, Selah, pause and think. He says, but this was David's own testimony. Those were the testimony people were saying, that there was no hope for him in God. But this was his own testimony. Sometimes when people think things about us, it's what we think and say is more important. How we program our life is more important than how people try to program us. If people are cursing you, and the curse is without a cause, and you are programming yourself well with the right words, that curse can never manifest. He says, this was David's words: "By you, O Lord, are a shield for me, my glory, and the one who lifts up my head. I cried to the Lord with my voice, and he heard me from his holy hill." He said, "As for me, you are a shield for me. You are my glory and the one who lifts up my head." So David said, "As for me, God, you are the one who do everything for me." Then he said he cried with the Lord with his voice, and the Lord heard him from his holy hill, Selah. God really heard him, and God answered his prayers. And this was what he recounted. He said, "I lay down and slept. I awoke, for the Lord sustained me. I will not be afraid of 10,000s of people who have set themselves against me all around. Arise, O Lord, save me, O my God, for you have struck all my enemies on the cheekbone. You have broken the teeth of the ungodly. Salvation belongs to the Lord. Your blessing is upon your people." Selah. So he says that he slept and awoke, for the Lord sustained him, and I will not be afraid of 10,000 people who have gathered around him. Then he said, "Arise, O Lord, save me, for you have struck all my enemies upon his cheekbone." This was a critical reference to Ahithophel, because David knew of the counsel of Ahithophel to Absalom, that look, if you allow your father to sleep by this side of the river and you don't pursue him this evening and he goes to the other side, you will become more trouble. And so David was tired, yes, so they slept there. And that's why he said, "I slept and I woke, for the Lord sustained me." Then he says, "I will not be afraid of 10,000 people who have set themselves against him," because those were people who were sent later to come and pursue him when he had crossed over. He says, you have broken the teeth of the ungodly. You have struck all my enemies upon the cheekbone." That means I have disgraced them. That's what happened to Ahithophel. God, he became ungodly when he rebelled against David. And God broke his teeth. That means that his counsel, Ahithophel's Bible says his counsel was as the counsel when God himself spoke. For the first time, his counsel was rejected by none other than Absalom, David's son, who launched the rebellion against his father David. And he couldn't take it. Ahithophel couldn't take it and went to hang himself. He hung himself. And by virtue of that, David was able to escape and later come back for his kingdom. This morning, my message to yourself and myself, a lot of times where we feel that we have no help in God, my prayer is that may God show us that he is our help. May he come through for us against our enemies and against the wrongful predictions of people. May whatever God has proposed for us this year, may it still come to pass. May whatever he has planned for us next year come to pass, irrespective of what people are saying. And may God do it in such a way that everybody knows that this is nothing but him, so that people will know that you have help in God. Because if God cannot help you, nobody can. May God be with us all. Join me tomorrow, same time, for Time the Prophets. Have a great week. Good morning.